Hey dudes and chicks, and neither if those rules don't apply to you, welcome to Makeup for Lost Time. My name is Katie. Today I'm going to be doing a collab video with one of my favorite people on YouTube. She's literally one of my favorite people on this platform. In fact, I literally picture myself hanging out with her sometime. I think that's going to happen. So anyways, it's Starshollywood Jessica, and her and I were talking about Melt and how many problems I have with it, and she may or may not have agreed with me, and I said, you know what, we should do a collab video and see if I'm the only person in the world, because she's in Sweden, if I'm the only person across the globe who actually has this many problems with Melt Cosmetics. And so she was like, that's a really good idea. I have some Melt coming in the mail. When it gets here, we're gonna do this. And so we decided to use the Impulsive palette by Melt Cosmetics, and many of you are probably already familiar. It's not a new palette, but the color story looks like this, and I feel like it really draws you in, and I'm not exactly sure what colors are the ones that draw you in, but for me, it was these two colors together. I really wanted to use these two colors, but then as I was looking at this palette to do this look, I realized that these mattes don't really makes sense to me with these shimmers. So I already did a look and I didn't really like it because it was fucking boring, and I used the greens surrounded by the yellow, and then I used this because it's actually, this is like a tinny bronzy dirty green, and then I used this color with it in my lid, and it just looked like a neutral green look. So I was totally unhappy with it. And so I decided to redo the look. I'm a lot happier with this look. You guys are going to see some of my thoughts about it, but I'm just going to get into the video so that you guys can see how I got this look. Thank you, Jessica, so much for doing this with me. I fucking adore you so much. And so I'm excited to see what your video is. I'm excited to see what your look is. And I'm excited to see if you had any fucking problems with this shadow. So I'm actually kind of hoping that you do, because I don't want to be the only one. Okay, so I have both my eyes primed with my ABH primer because this is a collab, so I'm going to do both eyes. And because ABH primer usually creases in my crease a little tiny bit before I ever even get started, I'm just gonna tap this out. It doesn't crease. My eyeshadow doesn't usually crease, but it usually creases before I even get started. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna surround it with yellow or not. I'm gonna use that new Beely brush that I have, this little tiny, it's a tiny shader brush. And is this the small one? Because if you guys remember last time, I kinda used the wrong brush. Yeah, this is the more dense one, right? And I'm gonna go into this green right here, this darker green, and I'm gonna use that in my inner crease, or my outer V and my crease. So the reason why we're doing this is because I was having a conversation with Jessica on Instagram about Melt shadows and how I always have problems with them. And she was like, yeah, she said something, you know, I'm not going to say what she said. I normally try not to tell people what people say to me when I'm chatting with them. But I will say that we decided that it was a good idea to have a collab and see if I'm the only person in the world that has problems with Melt shadows. Now, this isn't going to be a good tester because I'm using a different primer, but if using a different primer is the solution to my Melt problem, I can make changes, baby. I can compromise. Actually, the ABH primer isn't a compromise. I was actually watching Makeup with Michelle. I can't even remember if it's Makeup by Michelle or Makeup with Michelle. But she was talking about how she likes to wear ABH when she wants her makeup to last a long time. And she likes to wear P. Louise when she wants more payoff. I always wear P. Louise because I get the payoff. But since I've been going to school and wearing my makeup to school, I just thought it seemed like it was smart. That was a good little fact tip pointer for me. And so I decided to do this with ABH primer because I don't think I used the ABH primer. I didn't even have it when I did my Muerte looks. And so if the ABH primer is the solution to my Muerte problem, fuck, I'll take it. So I'm not really going to V this out. I don't want it to necessarily be round, but I don't want it to be pointed either. I want it to be cute, not sultry, which this palette, this color story, the mattes are, it's kind of difficult not to get a sultry look with this color story. And honestly, I did a look last night and I just found it so fucking boring that I decided to redo it. I told Jessica I had problems. That was the problem. I filmed the look and I thought it was boring, so I didn't film an intro or an outro or anything. I had something I had to go do and it just wasn't worth my time. So when I look at the mattes, I really just see the Gemini palette, which it doesn't leave a lot of options to me for mixing colors. I wanted to use these two colors together, the pink and the blue with the pink shimmer in it, but I feel like the mattes don't really want to do that. I might try to figure out something. If this look is cute, I'll try to pull something off. If this look isn't cute, I'm decluttering this palette. It isn't a standalone palette, in my opinion. Just because I have so many Melt palettes that are this orange and green color story that it's like, I don't know why I didn't see that when I waited for months and finally got this palette. I got it on sale, which is good. So I don't seem to be having any problems in the crease, but I'm still in the crease, so we'll see. I need to get that. Yay, you guys, my eyes might look the same as each other. Weird. So right now it's like 6 in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 and I usually look at my phone first thing. Don't do that, because Jessica was like, okay, I just filmed, I'm ready to upload tomorrow. And I don't know what I thought. I thought it was like in the middle of the night or something. I was like, no, not tomorrow. She was like, yeah, tomorrow. I'm like, no, it's on Friday. And she's like, yeah, tomorrow. And I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. Oh well. How often do I have to do that? Make a huge ass of myself. So I'm going to try to keep this pretty simple. I find that when I'm doing collabs, I often talk a lot more than normal, and then I end up having an hour's worth of film to go through and take out all the talking that I did anyway, so I'm just gonna try not to do that. Okay, I like that. That looks cute. Cute. And then, actually, I think, should I go a little bit higher with that? Just because, look, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Yeah, I'm going to. This is the part right here where Melt usually, in the crease and right here, I've got some kind of funky ass texture like on my brow bone on this side. So I always get, it's like not my favorite spot. I feel like everybody probably has that though. This a little more rounded. I got that funky shit going on in the crease. Yeah, like the shimmers in this palette, there's like some pops, but I feel like this palette is deceptively, I don't know, I just can't make any sense of it. I'm getting good at seeing palettes that have a varied matte story and like really picking out some looks from it, but this palette is the shimmers are like, I don't like palettes that are like one look and change the shimmer. The ColourPop Perception palette is like that. The Dose of Colors Desi and Katie Friendcation palette is like that. It's just one look and then you can switch the shimmer. And I'm not really, that's not that interesting for me. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this Beely, the more tapered brush, less dense. And I'm going to use this light green. This palette's a little awkward to hold. The Game Changer. And I'm going to start in the inner corner. Oh, I like that. That is a cool green. But I wonder how many times I have it in my Melt palettes. Because it's not an original green for Melt. I guarantee it. Okay, having much better process here than last night. Now, granted, I wasn't having any problems, but I didn't like wow myself with my look either. I almost didn't even want to wear it out. I got a lot of compliments on it. I hate that. I hate that when I get compliments on neutral looks that are like everybody's all about it, which I know, I get it. People like neutral looks, but well, that's not even true. I get compliments on my colorful looks a lot. Maybe that look was colorful to people. I had like a green. I should have taken a picture so you guys could see what my look looked like last night at least, but I just wasn't happy with it. I've spoken on here before about how Jessica has so many palettes that she's probably used to having, like, and just appreciating a palette for what it is or isn't separate from every other palette. But I have almost every Melt palette, and I just feel like that Millennial Pinks was really different for them, I feel like, and the Muerte palette. But like, we all know the Gemini, the Vita. I don't know how many Melt palettes do I have with that orange and green color story. A fucking lot. I hate it when I hang my mouth open like that. See, I mean, you guys can see, I have this creasing on both sides. It's like, it's not as bad as it normally is, so the ABH primer obviously has helped, but it's still there. Maybe it's just hooded eyes. My eyes aren't particularly oily. They're not dry by any stretch, but that ABH primer is a little bit drier, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's such a game changer for people, is that it dries down super matte. That's why you don't get the same payoff, because when like the P. Louise primer is a little bit more sticky and wetter, moist. Why does it feel like I'm having a hard time blending green into green? I don't know. Maybe it's just my stinking attitude. All right, I can live with that. I'm going to use my Voldemorphe JH39 pencil brush, and I'm going to go into the color Profesh. That's the name of the dark green, by the way. And I'm going to use that to line my lower lash line. I want, on the lower lid, I want the bulk of the dark green to just be along my lash line, to just line it. Because I'm going to really blow it out with the bright green, because I want that bright green to be my focus color. This is just for dimension. Yeah, so I woke up this morning and the first thing I saw was Jessica's message. I wondered, do you go by Jess? I'm ready for tomorrow. And I was like, ah, no, not tomorrow. It's tomorrow. And then I'm going to use that Bailey, maybe? Bailey. I hate pronouncing things poorly. It's like one of my pet peeves. So the thing about this look, I'm just going to kind of pack this in the inner corner. You guys know what I like to do. You got to be careful with that. That looks a little crazy. A little dark, a little darky poo. Often, if I feel like I'm mispronouncing something, I will Google it while I'm filming so that I know how to pronounce it, but I don't have time for that right now. The thing about this look is, even if it doesn't turn out good, I probably am still going to wear it because I have to go to school. I'm a school girl. Okay, I like that. Cute. Okay, yeah, that looks bright. I'm not going to add the yellow in. So now I'm going to use my NYX Glitter Primer. I'm going to keep this simple, you guys, and use the Kaleidos S4 to apply my NYX Glitter Primer. And I'm just going to place that all across my lid. And I'm going to go as high as I can into my skull fuck bone. I'm going to use the Zoeva 234, my favorite shadow brush, or my favorite shimmer brush, and I'm going to use this bright color that may just save this palette's life. If it doesn't, I'm just not really that into mixing an orange with orange. Yeah, I can live with that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to use the back side of this, but I am going to use this tiny little BLE detail shadow brush. And I'm just going to go a little tiny bit into Drunk Text because that is a green base and that's the color I used last night. And so I'm kind of a little bit nervous to use this. But I'm just going to use that to blend. And then I'm just going to pull this back. And I'm going to use this brush that I used for the dark green. Well, it's okay. And then I'm going to use my Kaleidos pencil brush, the S5, and I'm going to go into that same color, and I'm going to spray the brush. I don't know. It looks okay. I'll be okay with it. So now I'm going to use this color Poppin' Bottles. The payoff isn't great. It's very difficult to get onto the brush. So I'm using my AOA E126 and I'm going to spray it. It did pick up pretty well on there, if you guys can see. So maybe I just needed to use a different brush. But I'm going to spray it and I'm going to use that for my inner corner highlight. Ooh, I like the way that mixed with that watermelon-y color. I don't know what that color is. It's like a coral watermelon. Little brow bone highlight. I really don't like this very much. I don't know why. I'm just using this to blend in. I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to take more of that shimmer and kind of drag it out a little more. And then I'm going to drag that inner corner highlight in a little more. In fact, I'm going to get more on the brush and really drag it in a little more because I'm just not in love with this. Okay, that's a little better. In fact, that's a lot a bit better. Okay, that's something I can live with. And then drag that back even more. Okay, what do you guys think about that? That looks pretty fucking good. And so I'm just going to do my NYX glitter primer on the other eye along my orbital bone, aka skull fuck hole, and into the color Go Getter. That pink is called Go Getter. And I just need to put a little bit of that Drunk Text color on the other eye because I did it on the one, but I'm going to tap it out and just do it lightly. I could have done without that bullshit, but whatever. Really pulling that color almost all the way out. Okay, yeah. Tell me more, Melt. Talk more about that, please. Well, you look like a watermelon. And then I'm going into Poppin' Bottles for my inner corner highlight, and I'm going to spray it. And then I'm going to go in for some more. I'm getting some fallout here, guys. Okay. Forgot one eye. That would have been hilarious if I would have went to school with only one brow bone done. Okay, I like this. It's okay. It's passable. It's not getting me like horny or anything, but it is definitely gonna work. I'm not like mortified and I can go to school with this like this. I'm just trying to get this line blended out right here because I really literally was having a difficult time blending the green into the green. Like you can see where it comes to a dead stop right there. I'm sure of it, but maybe that's just my unreasonable expectations. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go finish this look and I'll be back when I'm done. So this is the finished look. I think it looks pretty cute. There's really nothing that a little liner and lashes and lipstick won't fix. So, right, it's the 3 L's and it fixes everything. So I used my Melt Cosmetics highlighter in the color Genesis. It's really pink. So I actually used my Real Techniques highlighter brush because it's not quite so dense. You can see the pink on there. It's actually really dramatic. So I just use this to lightly fluff this on the places where I highlight. And then I use my Makeup Forever liner in whichever coral. And then I use my, let me dig it out. I use my Wet Cherry Gloss by Lime Crime in the color Flaming Cherry. So I think the look turned out cute. It turned out cute enough. I'm not wowed by this palette, so I don't know what to say. I waited a really long time and I looked at this palette for a long time and I just couldn't shake my desire to buy it. So like I say, it's a bad relationship that I can't get out of. People tend to go back to abusive relationships 7 times before they finally get free. I use my Black Moon Cosmetics lashes in Orion. I feel like they're a little bit straight. I can't get them to... they're like, So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys like this look, or at least like this video. I wish I could have been a little bit more funny or a little bit more something, but it's like, it's early. I'm like... Hey dudes and chicks and neither. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my video and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. And hit the like button if you like this look, or if you just like my sparkling personality and my boyish charm. You guys could have been anywhere, but you were here spending your valuable, precious time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later.